Alrighty, and welcome to This Week in Jump. I'm Turo,
And I'm Ryan.
and this week we have a new series. So we actually have something new to go along with these, I would say, more longer lasting series. We do have some that are still getting their legs, Snail Asian, Hell Warden, Higuma,
Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man. I'm glad we're still getting something new. It does make me a little bit worried about something might being axed,
Yes.
but I don't think anything just yet. So let's get it out of the way right off the bat. We know nothing about this series. The Last I Yuki. This starting scenario is very weird. It's starting off a little bit like Boruto did, where it's post-apocalyptic after several years, and then it goes back in time.
I think that has to do with the boy character Ryunosuke and how he has to take care of the girl Koharu, who apparently can accidentally destroy the world with her voice.
Yes,
because she brings dreams into reality, or people's fears, rather. People's fears.
And that's just the start of what we know about this character. We know she can make people's fears become reality. That's why she doesn't want to talk. And she is...
They say a divine being.
A divine being. But she doesn't have any limbs besides a head and torso. She's blind. She has, like, mannequin-like arms and legs.
Yeah, she can't move her arms or her legs. She just move her torso, that's about it.
She can't open her eyes either. So it does make you feel...
That she's helpless.
And
Ryunosuke just acts like a total jerk.
Yeah,
because... the entire first half, because he wants to go and practice baseball.
Yeah, he wants to play baseball in a team just with, other kids. That is taken away from him from his father?
Yeah, his father.
Yeah.
He just calls him Pops.
Yes.
Because his Pops apparently brought her there so that way she could love him.
Yes.
And so that way she wouldn't turn on humanity and wind up leading to their destruction, i.e. the beginning of the story where it shows like what looks like a giant Titan-type being looming over a city.
Yes, with fire, like a firescape city. It's interesting, but I'm not sure if it can compete with everything else that's here right now.
It makes it seem like he's like the perfect, like a perfect love story type thing, where they have to be together. Like, that's the whole plot. And if it doesn't work out that way, then humanity is doomed. Mm-hmm. Almost like an Adam and Eve type story.
I can kind of see that. I'm just saying, right now, I'm not a fan.
I'm open to it. All right, next on your list.
Next, just because I'll get to it eventually, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. I just don't know what's going on. I know a lot of special attacks are going off. There's team attacks. There's chopping off limbs. And that's about it. I have no context for what really is going on.
How far are you in it? So that way we can get like a frame of reference. I can give some perspective.
I haven't started.
Oh, you haven't even read chapter 1. Okay. It's a fight that's been looming for a long time, and the reason Tanjiro is so aggravated with Akaza is because he was there whenever Rengoku, one of the previous pillars, was killed. He was there, and he said, "Oh, I'm glad that you were the one that survived, because you're actually going to be stronger, and you've actually proven yourself and improved greatly over a short period of time." So that's why the fight between him, Tanjiro, and Giyu also fighting, they're actually able to... I'm surprised that they're doing as well as they are. And I'm surprised, like, the most he took was when he blocked one of his attacks and he actually just coughed up blood, versus just getting bodied like Giyu got shown through the wall, through multiple walls. He got bodied. I don't know if he's gonna be alright after that. And he's like, oh, his name is Giyu, because he was also interested in them. He just likes fighting strong opponents.
See, I wasn't sure if he was just strong because those also looked like kind of the paper walls that a lot of Japanese houses like to have, at least in manga. So I didn't know if it was just falling through paper or anything.
Even then, like, the walls look pretty solid in the images. Like, that looks like that hurt because it's more than one. It's like wood, and it's not like the paper doors that they would go through. It looks like solid wood.
I guess that was just in my imagination then.
Well, I mean, there are parts of it that are like that, but the part that he flew through in particular looks like it was solid wood.
Yeah.
So he might be out, or he might come back. I don't know if he's all right. I want to see Akaza die. I want Tenjiro to win because, when he brought up Rengoku's name, he just got pissed off. Don't you dare talk about him. So that's the context for that fight, and that's I could understand why if you'd have like no clue as concept, I could see why you'd rank that lower.
Yeah,
it's relevance.
I guess so, especially in fighting all the pillars right now. Yeah, you kind of need to know their significance.
Yeah, you got to be the pillars and then the upper moons.
Mm-hmm. Then next we have We Never Learn.
I also had mine kind of fairly low.
It was a continuation of a previous chapter. Again, without a very satisfying ending. I did like a little bit more of the backstory, a little bit more fleshed out, and see the small rise of pride and motivation. But when she tried motivating someone and one thing did not go right, of getting accepted to the school the first time, was devastating for the student and just really broke her as a teacher.
And then she became super cold after that.
Yes.
That's why I liked this chapter more than the previous one, was actually seeing why she became the way that she was versus how she was at the beginning of her teaching career.
Yeah. Could make a joke about her being cold and she used to be an ice figure skater. But we're not going to do that. We're above that. We are above that.
A little classier. Oh, the Miharu miscommunication with Narayuki.
Oh yeah, at the end.
What do you mean?
You can't have both of us. You can have me, but give up on my sister. Still loving her sister enough to take her place and
as the love interest
and have her enjoy herself. That was neat.
But I'm guessing she's at the ice skating rink because she would go. Because he asks Uraka where she would go if she was trying to clear her head and think about something. She's like, oh, if I wanted to figure out if I wanted to go swim still, I'd go swim and clear my head. It makes sense in the context of the story.
Absolutely. Next up, we have Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. I didn't really place this very high because it was the last one I just read. There was a lot of dialogue compared to the last arc that we had that still left me with a somewhat bad taste in my mouth.
Dream sequence,
Mario 2. But it was still very nice. Everyone's trying to make this amusement park trip just really fun. And Chisaki finally having some more alone time and able to get a nickname.
To call him Kokun.
Kokun.
Well, she wants to be referred to as Chisaki instead of by her first name rather than her last name. Because she asks him, well, why do you refer to everybody at the Yuragi Inn by their first name? He's like, well, because everybody else refers to them by their first names there. And at school, everybody refers to each other by their last name. So he was just like, oh, I can call you Chisaki, and he does, and she's like, oh, okay, Kokun. Call him Kokun. And he's like, oh, nobody's ever given me a nickname before. So now he's, I guess, going to go by Kokun, and all of the other girls are like, that's a pet name, and
and up in arms about it.
Yes. So it made the dream sequence completely not worthless. It gives her Cocoon to call him as a nickname. So we can say that's the origin of that. Not completely worthless.
Has to start somewhere, but man,
She is the one chosen by destiny.
I guess, but I guess people are alive in the future, and it's a peaceful time, so I guess it's not entirely bad. But
It'll be different because in that future, Kogarashi lost his powers. So the fact that she was able to intervene and stop him from losing his powers meant that Yuna wasn't going to have to try and get his powers back.
and
So
disappear.
she didn't. Yes, which caused everything to cause the war, which caused basically just a domino effect of one thing after another, which led to eventually her being with Kogarashi at the end. But she might end up with Kogarashi earlier than anticipated. Because it took a few years after they were out of high school, and he was doing his business work before they hooked up. What you got next? Dun, 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 dun. Let's go.
Alrighty, and here we have Jujutsu Kaisen. We have Itadori and Todo fighting together against the tree branch curse.
They actually gave him a name.
Oh, really?
Hanami.
Hanami.
Hinami.
He still doesn't tell them his name.
Nope.
But he has a lot more abilities than we actually thought. He's able to control kind of like his body. He's able to grow hands on either side of his torso, and is able to manipulate wood to a very big degree.
And actually able to make it vanish. I thought it was cool how they were falling down and they actually kicked off each other to dodge his next attack.
But I liked it. And they're fighting together, and Todo says it's time for him to bring out his special ability, his special jujutsu technique. He says unseal it, which is weird, which might make me think he's going into a more berserk kind of phase where he's just rampaging. But I really don't know what kind of ability he's going to have.
Yeah, because Itadori is just like, didn't you already use that in the forest? As like a little side note.
Yeah.
But we do see that Hanami didn't actually like fighting. But he's actually enjoying this fight with Itadori and Todo. Actually feeling gratified while doing it.
Before, like, you want me to kill this person? Okay, they're dead. Next. Like, it's just a task that needs to be done. There's no enjoyment out of it. There's no sadistic part of him that he wants to torture. No, it's like, he's dead. Now we're fine to go, right? Just I wouldn't say go with the flow. I would say he's much more like a computer program. Like, this is done, we're done. Like, that's it. But now with him getting a little bit enjoyment and kind of making like a really weird smile.
Yeah, it's a smile. That's it. Smile.
It's eerie.
But I wonder, well, because I guess he's gonna get stronger because he makes it like, oh, you have more strength. That's Mahito, the guy with like the patch face, who was actually telling him this like in a flashback that he's actually stronger than he thinks he is. But I guess it's because he limits himself, and he's able to actually draw from that now. Now that he's actually enjoying it, which would make sense. I enjoyed this chapter.
I did as well. I think they might be the curses and the axe user might be retreating soon.
That fight has been looming for so long.
But I think they will be retreating soon, not being able to accomplish what they set out to do. But also, we have not seen the mentor.
Well, he's still stuck outside.
Yeah, he's stuck outside.
Because of the barrier.
Where it's stopping him from going inside.
Yeah,
which makes me think they might not be going after him, but someone inside of the bubble.
Probably Itadori. Because he has the high-ranking curse guy inside of him.
but he's not letting him out, which
Nope.
shows, control. But also, their secret deal. Don't know when he's going to come out. It's interesting to try to figure out what the enemy is really going for right now, other than just being disruptive and trying to kill all the up and coming jujutsu martial artists. Next up, we have Food Wars. We have Arena walking out, catching the Yukihara and pals, Soma and pals, eavesdropping, and Mother comes out and talks to the group. And she immediately faints because she's lacking in nutrients. She has given up on, apparently, she has given up on tasting food. Mm-hmm. So she only receives nutrients via IV. Which is a very, very sad way to live your life, I believe. The joy of food is different textures, different smells, and obviously the taste. When you just remove it and you have the
basic nutrients,
the nutrients,
an IV.
Those are those multivitamin pills that people take, and they just think that might be enough for their body. It's just sad.
It's all because she also has the god tongue, the divine tongue.
Yes.
So she just got to the point where she couldn't stomach her own cooking, which is crazy.
Yeah. A good cook tastes their food while they're cooking it so that they can see if it's heading in the right direction for their finished product.
Yeah.
Tasting, you don't have to taste a lot of raw ingredients and raw concoctions. But at certain points, it becomes edible.
To tell if it's done.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt sad for her until I realized how she's treating her daughter, and
that she just abandoned her.
Yeah, abandoned essentially the family name.
Yeah. But then we have Arena going back to being extremely cold.
Yeah, like. I wouldn't even say chapter 1. I would say even worse.
Yeah, that's what Megumi says, that she's probably even more cold and more vicious than she was back then. Because her face, there's no joy in it when she's cooking against Takumi in the fight.
No.
And she does obviously blow him out of the water. But we also see the flashback of her doing a quick match against Alice, and she dominates her. But she smiles afterwards in that flashback.
And she gives her a little bit, cheeky kind of statement to her. But
Submit
really,
against the Ice Queen.
Yeah, she's a different person now.
But throwing away the food.
Throwing away food is not something you do. Like, from a very young age, like, I was taught, do not throw away food. Anyone can eat that. If you're not hungry right now, save it for later. You eventually will be hungry later.
And then Saiba comes in at the close of the chapter and says that he's the only person that can make her dream come true. So I'm guessing he's probably the next person to go into for the next round.
See,
so he'll probably have the next chapter.
When I was reading this on the Jump app, I could have sworn that he said that he was Arena's fiance.
Well, he wanted to be with her. That was his whole shtick as far as like abducting her. I don't know if anything is confirmed with that or not.
Yeah, as your future husband, I've got to say it hurts. It hurts to watch what she just did. And yeah, someone on the noir side saying that she's pretty harsh. That's saying something.
Arena, what are you doing? We know you want to show up your mom and everything, but what are you doing? This is not okay.
She's worked so hard to make friends, to make alliances, and all this.
Just to throw it away?
To throw it away once, someone she either hates or holds grudges against now in her life again. Yeah, she's not experienced to having friends as having someone
Yeah.
or someone having your back.
Oh yeah, and they also compare her to like being like the zero seat,
Mm-hmm.
which is even
Higher than
like
the first.
untouchable.
Alrighty, number 9. I have Haikyuu.
All right, where to begin?
We're starting just from point 2. Everyone's cheering for Hinata and Karasuno.
Personal high.
Karasuno High. Everyone's cheering for them. They've got the big old like cheering drum, and it's crazy. People are really getting into it. And on the next point, we have the other little giant on the other side, just spiking it and making everything tied up. Very very flashy, just getting through that wall on the other side. Korra is very much like stated, this is a fight between him and Hinata, and they're going to be butting heads constantly throughout this. But there's more than just these two players on this team.
Mm-hmm.
There's the more calculating type Hirugami, the immovable Hirugami. His reaction times is quick for being able to tell
what's a fake and
essentially like a drop shot,
mm-hmm.
and immediately just because drop shots, if the people are not expecting them, they will go in and people won't be able to get there in time. If someone sees it, it's the slowest moving ball on the planet, and you have so much time to set up and quickly destroy it because it has no real momentum other than anything you exert, so you have full control. That was a mistake that they made. But he again
he's very cocky over the Hinata and Kageyama.
Yeah, he very very blunt. Doesn't really matter what you're gonna do in front of him. Like, I'm gonna stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're gonna do.
So yeah, for that regard, I didn't have much else to add. Just they were able to block them out
Mm-hmm.
and actually get a point from that too.
Yeah.
Which was impressive.
Absolutely. This one just read very quick. It's setting the pace that this isn't going to be a blowout. They're
Nope.
going to have a real fight. I can see this going on for another 2 chapters.
Just this set, or the whole match is probably going to be at least 30.
This set.
This set, nah. It's if the battle for the trash heap is anything to go off of for the main line battles for Karasuno,
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be at least 30, at least. So it's gonna
long.
Yes, it is, and it'll make rereading it in like a volume format a lot more satisfying. When I was reading Haikyuu, when I was reading constantly,
Mm-hmm.
I was reading it as the volume style, and it reads great.
Okay.
Because the pacing is a lot better. The individual chapters, like unless it's like a major reveal, it doesn't have the same impact.
Mm-hmm.
But reading it as the volume, like, oh god, are they gonna win? Are they gonna win? What's gonna happen? How are they gonna come back from this? Oh crap, they lost that set. Okay, so how are they gonna do it?
That's really planning ahead, and I might not have seen that portion of it. It might be better now with that in mind. I might think of it a little bit more highly.
Yeah, because it reads like really quickly, because most of it is action panels. What you got next?
Alrighty. Next one, Snail Asian.
Okay.
Snail Asian, we have Boogie and Brother Ta drifting, racing down this mountain, and Boogie being a worthless piece of trash, he's not even really driving.
Nope.
He just has his electric vehicle, self-driving car. He's not even having the joy of hitting the accelerometer, of turning the wheels. He's just sitting down and that's it. He has implemented several people's information for how they drive and finding optimal routes, optimal speeds, optimal times to brake, and all of that to win.
Basically, time trials in Mario Kart.
Yes, but time trials in Mario Kart, just like the information he got, was when he was by himself driving, not accounting for anything else on the road or other people driving against them.
True.
Because he would be so far ahead that it wouldn't even matter.
And that's why his self-driving car only works on this mountain, and that's why he only races on it.
And that's why Neo finds it interesting and tells Brother Ta he needs to get in front of the car. He doesn't need to beat Boogie. He just needs to get in front of the car because that adds in a variable. Brother Ta as the variable into this program. And that variable might be enough to just utterly destroy whatever program Boogie has in his car.
Yeah, because now Neo was able to hack into Boogie's car, get that data. So if he's able to add that data to it, he passes him. He'll be going on the fastest route anyway. So, yeah, he should win via that. That's why I liked when he actually just floors it.
I like that Brother
Right at the
Tom
end.
was...
The flashback?
The flashback, him being a brother of the temple, and
the brief...
with the...
Daigo.
Daigo and his sister, and really just having a very brotherly connection with him.
Early on, you get a flashback too, where Daigo's remembering when he was, I guess he got out of school and was just at a park crying with a photograph
of his sister and his father, who he scratched out for good reason. He had left them with debt and nothing else.
Yep, and then Brother Ta saw that, went over there and started messing with them and trying to cheer him up.
Yeah.
So, Brother Ta, good guy.
Good guy.
So that's why you definitely want him to win and trump Boogie. Hands down.
Yes, sir. Alright, that's it for part 1.
Watch out for part 2 of this episode.